A person who thinks all the time has nothing to think about except thoughts. So he loses touch with reality.
Loses touch.
And lives in a world of illusions. By thoughts, I mean specifically chatter in the skull, perpetual and compulsive repetition of words, of reckoning and calculating.
Do a dab.
I'm not saying that thinking is bad.
No, not at all.
Like everything else, it's useful in moderation. A good servant, but a bad master. And all so-called civilized peoples have increasingly become crazy and self-destructive because through excessive thinking they have lost touch with reality. Most of us would have rather money than tangible wealth, and a great occasion is somehow spoiled for us unless photographed. And to read about it the next day in the newspaper is oddly more fun for us than the original event.
Guess what?
This is a disaster.
Yeah.
To get in touch with reality, there is an art of meditation, of what is called yoga or jhana in India, Chan in China, and Zen in Japan. It is the art of temporarily silencing the mind, of stopping the chatter in the skull. Of course, you can't force your mind to be silent. That would be like trying to smooth ripples in water with a flat iron. Water becomes clear and calm only when left alone.
Good evening, folks. This is Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Monday, March 11th at 1 a.m. Mountain Time, 2019. You're looking at anything you want to exploding. But we want you to keep calm because you've entered the boom room and it's boom time. Winter storm dumps more than a foot of snow on parts of the upper Midwest. March 10th, 2019. Minneapolis interstates have reopened in North Dakota and South Dakota after a winter storm dumped more than a foot of snow in the parts of the upper Midwest. North Dakota transportation officials said Sunday, reopening Interstate 94 from Bismarck to Fargo. I-29 was reopened from Grand Forks to North Dakota. Say it ain't soda. We'll get there. Roof collapses under weight of snow. Look at that bendy. Holy schmendy. I hope no one was living in the attic. That would be a schmatic. A roof collapse under the weight of heavy snow. 222 South Park Street. No jokes or puns intended. No one was injured. Nearly 10 inches of snow this weekend caused the roof to collapse early Sunday morning after 56 other inches had fell already on the roof. But they didn't even tell us that. Isn't that disinformation? That's crazy. That's almost as trippy as my Jiffy, which I can't even clicky on. Now, if you're watching and you just joined the show or the channel and you're aware of perpetual motion and you subscribe to many channels that are schmannels, do not touch the arcing wave. That will suck. We are flowing on a plasma sheath which contains electricity. And if this Jiffy ever loads, there will be loads of fun to be had by you and I. On and on, time immemorial. As we float upon the plasmasphere, the wave is insane. And perpetual motion is not only proven and possible, but it is a given fact that the powers that be do not want you to know about magnetic fields, the magnetic reversal, the magnetic nature of all objects with polarity. They don't want you to know. Why would they want you to know? That would be free energy. Roof collapses in Eau Claire after winter storm. Wow, that looks worse than the house. Not only did the roof collapse, but the entire building is missing. The firefighter's like, what the? Eau Claire. A heavy dumping of snow led to the collapse of at least 2 roofs in Eau Claire. This is what they're reporting on. Take 2, times it by 10, and that's probably the average. According to WQOW in Eau Claire, 1 person was taken to the hospital, which was a schmossable because it was in Wisconsin. Are you kidding me? They make cheese there. They certainly don't make hearts. Cheese equals farts. I'm tired of my reporting. I just want you all to know that most of the perpetual motion machines and free electricity devices were developed by people like this guy in the hoodie who reaches out and touches the electricity. That's a bad idea. Do not reach out and touch the arc unless you want to be a FARC, because it's filled with energy and that's a bad thing. Just like the Earth will be filled with energy in 24 hours as multiple X-ray flares directly Earth-facing through coronal mass ejections hit our planet. And it is my prediction that in the next 48 hours, there will be a lithospheric disruption, which causes a major earthquake. So as these events hit our planet, which no one's warning you about, not only will the grid fail in minor areas, substations, etc., but there will be a massive earthquake in the next 48 hours. Probably tomorrow afternoon through tomorrow night. That is your plight. And it's only a prediction. So don't get your panties in a bunch. You should be prepared. But potent storm to spread snow across the west before turning into a potential blizzard in the plains. It's insane. There's colors, and there's purple, and there's schmurple, and there's other things. And spinning weather channel squares. And that means it's really official. It's officially here. We're not queer.
Here we go again. We have yet another winter storm moving across the country this week, and this one is going to be extremely intense, very strong area of low pressure. We're going to be finding rain out ahead of it. Then we'll find the snow wrapping in on the backside of this system. But what's really significant is because we've got such a deep low, we're going to have some extremely strong winds with this. That's going to be whipping that snow around out ahead of it. It'll be whipping the rain around. And in between, you could find some icy areas. Now, as we watch this system going through the middle of the week, watch all this rain pushing into areas that have a lot of snow on the ground. So you're going to see a lot of melting, potentially some flooding, then snow wrapping in on the backside, coming over.
I'm no wizard, but high winds and snow equals a blizzard, extending from Nebraska all the way up to the northern tier up into Canada. This blizzard will move its way east. Thursday, 1 p.m. This is the front boundary. So get ready. This blizzard is moving east. It has already been named Winter Storm Ulmer. And if you don't believe it, well, I hope you're prepared.
Over some of those areas where we just got the rain and the melting, that's going to refreeze, and that'll pose some more problems as we go through the week. As far as the snowfall amounts, the highest totals will be coming in across Colorado, stretching into Minnesota.
Say it in soda. Highest totals in Minnesota. Have you had enough of winter? Well, officially, spring doesn't start in North America until March 21st. A new storm system will continue to bring snow to the west early this week. The storm will intensify into the plains, which will be insane. Now we're about to cover why that's insane. With snow and high winds Wednesday, mid-March, blizzard conditions are possible in parts of the plains, which will continue to freeze the ground. The Denver metro area could see significant snowfall in this storm, which has nothing to do with all the predictions I'm about to make. GFS models showing heavy snow moving into the upper Midwest, heads up Nebraska, South Dakota. Say it ain't soda. Now, you can see these heavy snows that I'm talking about in the GFS model. Wisconsin, Nebraska, Northeast, Colorado. Are you kidding me? We're talking 2 feet of snow in many of these areas. These are areas that need to be planted shortly. Not only that, they all drain into the Mississippi. They all drain into the Mississippi. And in times of yore, the Mississippi has had floods of yore. And Al Gore is a whore. Washington picking up a couple more feet. Oregon, heavy snow, light to moderate snow in the Sierras that already have record levels. Most of Nevada, which is a desert, is going to get precipitation. More precipitation in the Four Corners region, including almost all of New Mexico. Ho, ho, ho. And look at these snow totals all the way down to 25 degrees. That's Miami in Mexico. Moving into March. Weather Ready Nation maps showing very little warnings and watches. 2 Pacific storms with wintry impacts will hit the U.S., bringing heavy mountain snow to portions of the West. However, the storm off Southern California will bring significant impacts this week, which are not showing up on the map, including a blizzard warning through the upper Midwest, as it will intensify. They're hiding the information. They do not want you to be prepared. It's about to hit the fan in spring. It'll be quick. It will melt. It'll be a snap, like a snapback. But if you're not ready for the perpetual motion of this system, well then, you might as well touch the ark, because you're a sheep and you deserve what you get. You deserve it. Why is this still showing up here? How come I don't have any connectivity? I'm in a new place. This is why did the Mississippi River flood in 1965? Why did it occur? How about solar minimum? Record snowfall, record outwash, record cold in the upper Midwest, keeping the ground frozen until April. More snow piling up in Iowa, Minnesota, and other areas. Come read about the facts. These are the facts that I base my predictions on. And therefore, I predict the Mississippi to flood beyond the 1996 record levels that I covered as a graduate student with my professor, Pete Goodwin. We went out to the Quad Cities, and the river was 60 miles wide in the summer of 1996. I hope I'm right. My memory is foggy. Seismic update, 4.6 in Fiji, 4.7 in Chile, 5.1 Southwest Ridge, and more. We have a moderate uptick in earthquakes. 5.0 in Japan today, 5.9 the Reykjanes Ridge, 5.5 on the same ridge, 5.0 in Papua New Guinea. Oh my God, we just got shut down. They're listening. They're listening, folks. They're listening. 13 minutes, 42 seconds in, and they're listening. Either that or our internet is dead. Holy sh... Oh, it's back. Oh, I wish it cracked. High number of Saskatoon residents experiencing frozen pipes after record cold. Emergency water supply in a small trailer was left, and then they drove away after the city's coldest February in 80 years. Let me repeat that. Because probably no one will repeat that. This is the city's coldest February in 80 years. Saskatoon. After the city's coldest February in 80 years. Saskatoon. Where is the global warming in Saskatoon? 80 years. How many puppets? How many sheep live in Canada that will read this sentence and will agree with the theory of global warming? How many? almost all. That is the problem. Therein lies the problem. That you live, which is insane. The coldest February in 80 years, and the majority of the population in Saskatoon believes in global warming. I mean, how insane does your brain have to be brainwashed before you believe the exact opposite of the facts? How much of the local groundwater do you have to drink? And how many times do you have to get snapped by the electricity from the circuit? How many times does the plasma increase? All-time cosmic ray highs emanating from the sun into your face until you get it. Probably never. Probably never. Which is why we're not here to change minds. We're here to save lives. And you're included. KP index, KP 0. We're at a myocardial infarction alert, which will be followed by a geomagnetic storm in the next 12 hours. We have 2 CMEs coming to Earth, coupling with the coronal hole simultaneously, which will bring us to G5. I'm sorry, KP5. G1 within the next 12 to 24 hours. G2 is my prediction. And the dereliction will cause restriction in the grid. Which means you're going to be fluxed somewhere at some time in the near future. Mid-ocean ridges spreading as the Earth swells. 5.1 South Indian Ridge, multiple outshocks there, 4.8. 5.4 Al Gore's a bore. Here we have a 6.2 in Lambasa, Fiji. Thankfully at 600 kilometers. Now this does not bode well. And my prediction is an 8 magnitude in Fiji with a tsunami in the next 24 hours. Geomagnetic storm, potential earthquake on the west coast in the upper Cascadia as well in the 7 magnitude. Now we're seeing the phi angle shift towards sun to earth. If we get up into the 180 region, we'll be high seismic activity, but we do not want to see this blue line in the middle. Bad news for Earth. But we do have a plasma density increase. Plasma density is very high while speed is low. So we will see a major perturbation coming in the next 12 to 24 hours as the first coronal mass ejection hits the planet, directly facing. No one's warning you. So we're going to see minor perturbations to the grid in the next 24 hours. We'll report on it tomorrow night. Mark my words. And this is the beginning of the uptick, starting now. Because the polar solar magnetic fields will be reversing in the next 2 weeks, and this major seismic outburst will mark the entrance into cycle 25, which won't happen for another year. But thankfully, we'll be past that flexure point. It may be the New Madrid, unfortunately. And if that occurs, those of you who just started preparing, I hope I'm wrong. 5% chance of New Madrid faulting in the next 24 to 48 hours. But that is still a percentage. And if that goes, I'm not getting back to the East Coast, and Leah's not selling her house in Philly. But we're hedging our bets. We don't think that's going to happen until next winter. Karaminskil outgassing 24 hours later at 9,000 feet. Dukono erupting. Popo, Bromo, new name to the list. Shivalush, Kerinci, Sakurajima, Planchon Petaroa, Samankaya. I hope you don't want to fly ya. Flying insurance, I would buy ya. Many people dying today flying in planes. It's insane. They've grounded hundreds of planes because of lack of infrastructure and testing. Which is why I do not want to fly, ever. Not only that, cosmic ray increase causing basically dental x-rays once you're in the plane. And you get above 35,000 feet. Ho! You might as well touch the beam. Or you could just stay on Earth and play with magnets and learn how to make free energy. Because it's not hard. The hard thing is sharing it with the public. Because it's not allowed by the CIA and the major multinational corporations. No, it's not allowed. Nikola Tesla much. We're floating in a plasma sphere of energy. It's an electrical universe. Electric universe! That means electricity is free. But these pricks, back in the early 1900s, got the patent for free electricity. And they said, hey, we'll just pretend we put in lines and we'll charge people. DC comes from the sun. AC comes from a corporation. You've been duped. You've been duped. You buy alternating current, which is free. They don't even know how much you're using. That's why you should take it for free. A woman climbed at a barrier at Arizona Zoo and to get a selfie. Now, this is a zoo where there's 26 areas where you can get a safe selfie with this jaguar. She climbed over the barrier. This is tonight's sheep update. This woman climbed over the barrier to get a video to show everyone. And guess what she got? She got what she deserved. Please put your kids to sleep. This is a warning. What you're about to see is the inside of a human body ripped out by a jaguar. It is, do not watch if you're going to throw up. That's the inside of her fat right there. But see, someone's putting her hand inside of her arm. It's disgusting. I had to go over the enclosure. I had to do it. It was a jaguar. I needed to go over there because I'm such a sheep. I didn't know jaguars ate people. I didn't know they were wild animals. I thought they were, I saw them on my show. I watched my computer program thing. They didn't tell me that jaguars ate people. Oh, they took that video down. Damn. That happened live. There was actually, you could see inside of her arm at one point, and this woman put her hand in it. But you got a little snippet. Now, the sheep who decided to climb over a barrier into a panther enclosure does not deserve your sympathy. Neither do the 90% of the population that will die during the next event, because they are simply going along their daily lives and they say, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Global warming, we're all going to die. I'm going to pay my taxes. Those people deserve it. Pre-earthquake ionospheric anomalies before three major earthquakes by GPS Tech and GMI Tech data during 2015-2017. This means that they're on to the jig is up. Scientists are now picking up that we're in an electric universe. Earthquakes are predictable. Major earthquakes are caused by cosmogenic effects. And they're on. Game on. Read the paper. Game is on. Positive and negative feedbacks in the magnetosphere-ionosphere coupling. Oh my God, maybe climate change isn't your fault. Maybe it's not you. Maybe it's the sun. Maybe it's not CO2. Oh my goodness. Coming out now, scientists observe water molecules moving around the moon. No thanks. We don't want you to track us. Moon boom much? There is water flowing around the moon. And how about this? Welcome to your future. Patients and shock family learn he's dying from a hospital robot. Now, the robot came in from a doctor who was off-site to tell the patient, you have 24 hours to live. And that was it. And then he died. Exactly how the doctor said it. If you don't like this type of impersonal screens where a doctor tells you you're going to die and then you die. Well, welcome to your new world, you pricks. You bought into it. You are a slave, and you keep nodding and you keep voting for the people that are completely selling you out. Good luck. You're all dead. I don't even care. I haven't been to a hospital for 30 years. If they try to put me there, trust me, I will hit them in the head with any stick or firm object I can get. I'm done with that whole world. Scientists thread a nanoneedle to modify the genes of a plant because they don't know if you just mix pollen every year, you can get completely radical new plants. They need to genetically modify them so that they will only be suited for the inside conditions where they're going to be growing these. Plants cannot be genetically modified to grow in your region. You can only do that yourself. It's called selective breeding. It's been going on for hundreds of thousands of years by humans. And now these scientists think they know better. I want to warn you. Everything you read about genetic modification, nanoneedles to modify genes of plants, this is bad news. Plants have been around for 550 million years. They need no modification. They've been surviving catastrophe after mass extinction for 550 million years. I know about it because I studied it. I studied the first grasses to ever exist on land. That was my time period, the Silurian. If you want any misinformation, read the mainstream. This is bullshit. This is unnecessary. There is no need to genetically modify plants. They adapt instantaneously on their own based on their environment. Humans meddling with genetics and plants is the most pathetic. I mean, I don't even know where to go with that. My background tells me this is the most sadistic, inhumane, unscientific, unproven, bullshit science to ever exist for instantaneous approval in the community. This has nothing to do with feeding you, has nothing to do with surviving and thriving, has everything to do with manipulating with the bullshit science that has been perpetuated by corporations to make them more money. They want to own you. And you just fucking sit there. Do you know that when liquid metal turns into plasma, all of everything you know about physics is wrong? Did you know that? But they know how to make plants better. Give me a fucking break. Pentagon spent $4.6 million on lobster tails and crab in 1 month. And your taxes are going up for national security. You're a fucking slave. Look at the balls on those lobsters. We have a $1 trillion deficit to keep you safe. That means to feed you poison, mercury, vaccines, and other shit to make you sick so they get rich, you prick. I'm sick of it. I'm almost done with this channel. Water like the ancients did. Oh, you know what they did? They put water at the source in terracotta. And there are companies now that are selling you metal sticks to stick near your plants for $27 each plant. Hey, how about you just water your crops? Oh, it's illegal to capture water off your building in most states. I wonder why that is. I wonder why it's illegal to capture water. That's so you can't grow food. So they own you, you bitches. Freedom is not free. You want to free yourself? Buy shit from our store. If you don't buy shit from the store, you're a slave. This store supplies you freedom. Every item you buy in the store equals freedom from the mainstream, freedom from the corporatocracy, freedom from the safe city, freedom from the food that is poison that you're being fed at the store that you buy every day. I don't care what you think about me. I don't care what you think about what the mainstream says. I'm telling you what I know. Freedom isn't free. If it was, back in the early 1900s, electricity would be free. Because it's based on no other purpose but spinning a wheel around north and south magnetic poles, which the Earth is, and the solar system is, and the universe is. A magnetic field where energy is free. If you know how to build the object. The objects being built for the last 100 years have been crushed by industry because it will not make the money. The more efficient you make it, the less money they make. They do not want cars that get 300 miles to the gallon. They do not want generators that make 24 kilowatts out of 1 kilowatt. They do not want that. That would reduce the profit margin 10,000 times. Are you listening? You're a slave, and you're still not listening. Touch the fucking arc. I hope you hit it. I'm sick of it. Goodbye. Good night. Good